Long time no see. I am back to officially start my redemption arc. I don't know what happened in the last project, but all I know is I was cursed by some sort of entity. Also, I found this under my pillow, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
I'm working on it.
Let's get started. Hello. It's time for me to come out of hiding. I was recently exiled for posting this, where I tried to repair a DS Lite and I failed miserably. There were a lot of failures and trickery amok. When I mean exiled, I mean by myself. That was horrible, a horrible experience. But now I come back to restore my honor, taking my mistakes and building a GameBoy macro. More with like a vector, Frutiger
vector
arrow,
flourish.
Metro kind of vibe on it. I'll show you the inspiration. So I originally sourced my instructions through this instructable guide. I'll link it below, but all the STL files and everything else I got from there. So if you are interested in it and you have a DS Lite laying around that's kind of broken, I really recommend this. It was a really fun project.
A GameBoy macro is essentially a DS Lite that is modded so that the device does not require the top screen.
So I wanted to show some of the things I got for this project. The instructions that I'm following actually use a Nintendo Switch speaker. So I bought one of those. The speakers that the Nintendo DS Lite that I was working with actually look like this. They're more circular. However, the Switch Lite is important. The speakers, well, one, they're better, allegedly. And two, this is the case that I 3D printed. And if you see here, it's just not gonna work if I use their same ones. And I do not trust myself enough to make my own case speakers. So we'll use that. I'll put that to the side. And then the next thing that I got for this, let's see. This is the resistor. It's just a surface mounted 330 ohm resistor. And let's see if I can. They're actually really unique. I've never worked with one that looked like this before, or at least a surface mounted one. It's really cool. So this whole roll. So you could technically get one from this website that I think it's like $2 for just one that you need. You only need one. But this one was only a couple dollars for like 20 of them. 20 plus of them, at least two. So yeah, that's what I'm using. Okay, so I just took the case off. Maybe I just messed it up, but let's see. Audio's not the best. Kind of freaked out there for a second. Okay. Yeah, screen is not functioning. So yeah, I guess we'll figure it out. But at least we know audio is kind of working, and I'm sure something is just not connected right for the screen. So I have a theory as to why the screen isn't fully responding to my touch. I think it is probably this tiny ribbon cable at the very top. I was having issues with it last time when I was doing it for the DS Lite. My concern is that there was a little very fragile plastic bit that connected it to the rest of the PCB, the bottom screen to the rest of the PCB. However, that really fragile plastic bit that's essentially supposed to make the ribbon cable flush broke off. It's into the abyss, and that is such a uncommon piece of plastic that I wasn't able to like make my own or anything like that. So I have just tried sticking it in there. Usually once I stick it in there and put the case on, everything is so tight that it doesn't move around. However, for most of my troubleshooting, that's when I run into a lot of issues. I put a little tape onto it. It's a little crude and it's not the best, but I'm wondering if that's kind of the issue. So at first I was able to get through the starting sequences of the DS. However, it had to restart. That's just usual, so it's nothing wrong on that. So we'll see. Let's take a look and see what's kind of done so far. And just to give a better idea of what I'm talking about when I mean the ribbon cable at the very top, let's see if this will focus. Yeah, I mean this guy here. Obviously there's tape over it, but there was a little plastic bit that you just snug this ribbon cable into and clip it down, similar to the other side. But unfortunately that has fallen off, so I've just essentially like tucked it in there, and then usually when I put the case on, that's when everything will be okay. But as you see, it's kind of sticking out a little bit, so I'm wondering if that's the issue, because this bottom screen, I don't believe it's the digitizer, because everything was working really well last time. This wasn't an issue I was running into. So let's take a look and see if maybe I can fix this up a little bit more. Sorry for this awkward angle. I kind of have everything held by my hands, so I didn't have enough room to show you on the other side. So let's see. I kind of shoved it in a little bit more, that ribbon cable. Let's see if that fixed it. If not, it likely is the digitizer, only because it doesn't make sense that the ribbon cable would be responsible for the bottom screen to work on the left side but not the right. It's just really disappointing because the digitizer was working fine like a couple days ago, but that's how these things run. And especially since I've probably been doing not the best job at this, I wouldn't be surprised if I mess something up along the way, but let's see. And in all honesty, I actually haven't worked with the digitizer by itself before, because I just kept it from the original one. So I'm not even too sure how to like take it apart and things like that. But let's see. So here I am on PictoChat. I'm so scared the battery is just going to fly out of my hand. I'm not getting any sort of response. So last time when someone wouldn't get, when I wouldn't get a okay, so yeah, here. So this ribbon cable is lifting again. And I lost my good tweezers, so sorry that I'm using these TJ Maxx little tweezers. Darn, I'm gonna have to let go. Okay, 2 seconds. My thumb is kind of on it, so this might mess it up. Yeah, I think it is. Oh my god, I really don't want this to... Yeah, it fell out again. Okay, how about this? Let's make a deal. I'm gonna try to fix this, and if I say I fixed it and I put it together, don't be mad that I'm not able to show you how I fixed it if I fixed it. I believe it's the ribbon cable. But yeah, just let me do what I need to do, because this is frustrating me. Let's just kind of practice with the PictoChat a little bit and kind of make sure that everything looks good. That's not good. So honestly, I'm not too familiar as far as the structure of the PCB and what necessarily affects the touch, but it looks like there's a lot of phantom touching. If that's the correct term for it, I don't know. I usually use phantom touch for other things, but yeah, it just is immediately making lines for the rest of the side. So my guess is it's either this ribbon cable up here, This ribbon cable seems pretty good up here or down here, but we'll take a little bit more of a look, and I'll look at some Reddit threads and see what that kind of thing is. But I don't really want to do anything to the case or make any sort of cosmetic changes until I know that this thing is able to actually function. So we'll take a look at that. I don't remember where I stopped recording, but let's just kind of see where we're at now. After a lot of trial and error, here we are. This is just kind of the base right now. I didn't put in that little slip right here. Actually, I think I threw it out, but it doesn't matter. I was actually so done with this build that I just wanted to get it over with. And it's the screws. I used the same screws from the old case that I had a hard time with it in the beginning. But this is what we have, just to kind of see in the beginning. Now, there's some things that are a little uneven. The case itself, which I'll link below where I got the instructions for this whole thing, it really wasn't an issue, but I kept getting this opening right here, and I was confused as to why I was getting it, and I'm still a little confused as to why I'm getting it. The speaker is slotted in correctly. I think at the end of the day, it's just a skill issue, so I'm okay with it. But let's see if it turns on. You can see my camera. Isn't that so cool? Now, here's one thing though. The screen doesn't work. I know why. The ribbon cable that connects to the digitizer was being held on by hot glue. It's because the digitizer had a ribbon cable that was disconnected and it kept disconnecting. And I knew that once I put the shell on together, that it was either going to stay in there where I put it or it was going to stay out. And at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily really matter. It does kind of suck because I really like using the Pictochat on there. But at the end of the day, I'm just not opening this up just for it to happen again and again. I've got a nice little pink and green moment here. I'll paint it after, but I also wanted to check and make sure it actually could read games. I actually don't have any Game Boy Advance or color games, so I went to my local retro gaming store and I picked up this bad boy. I thought this would be kind of more into the theme of what I'm going for, so I got this one, and let's see if it works. Oh yeah. This is so cool. So it works. This is so fun. Let's see. Sorry, my nails are getting in the way. This is so cute. Okay, I kind of want to stop here, or actually, sorry, I'm going to play this a little bit. Like, so as far as the design I want the front to still be neon green with some pink accents, and then I want the back to be fully hot pink. So I'm thinking something like this for the front and then something like this for the back. And right now what I'm trying to do is trying to get a good pink. It's just a bunch of artsy stuff at this point. Hopefully I can get this done before I have to make dinner, because I have a DoorDash driver picking me up some ingredients for dinner. So we'll see. giving what I want it to give, so I'm not mad. And then once that's done drying, I will start in the back. Video.
Congratulations!
I am very surprised I even got to this point. I am very happy with the outcome. Although the case wasn't what I wanted it to be and the touchscreen doesn't necessarily work, I'm very happy that I am able to play a game on this bad boy and that it looks the way it does. I'm actually very, very happy. And just to kind of give like a bit of a close-up, I'm sorry I've got like a purple light going on for ambiance, but I'm incredibly happy and I've definitely feel more rejuvenated of starting some later projects. Yeah, I'm also very impressed with the Pets Vet game. It was actually really, really cute and I think I'm gonna bring this up with me on my vacation. I'm a little scared that this will not be good with travel just because I am a little bit of a rough traveler. I just kind of throw things around. So we'll see if it's something that could handle it. But I actually would love to play this game while I am out at sea. So I'm very excited. I hope that this video is a little bit more organized. I tried my best to make sure that things were a little bit more smooth and that I actually had something to talk about. I did have to pivot a couple times, but it's totally fine. At the end of the day, I have a Game Boy macro. So I'm very, very happy. And yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I suppose I will see you in the next one.